Hey guys, so today finally we're on the first patch in Season 6, and this video is going to go over everything you need to know to play today and know what's changed. Alright, so first, these champions on screen now have had minor changes to them. It's stuff that isn't really going to affect like their place in the meta or how often they're picked, so I'm not going to go over them. If you play the champions though, then definitely check the notes to see the difference. The champions now though, on the other hand, have had bigger changes, so we are going to go over them real quick. First one, Leblanc. Her E, her chains, and the ultimate version of it now has had its missile speed increased. Like the actual chains are going to go faster. Leblanc has been kind of on the edge of being really good for a little while now. She does well against most of the other mid laners at the moment, so I think this change will actually like make people play her more, and then they'll realize she's strong and she'll become a lot more popular. Okay, Misfortune. She's had her cheesy part hit the most actually. People were maxing their E first with Thunderlords, and it was just doing a ton of damage and slowing for way too much. So her E damage is drastically down, and also her passive damage is down. So the passive change, like, you're not really going to notice that too much. It won't really make too much difference. But because the later ranks of her E have been hit so hard, there's no point maxing any more and trying to cheese that way. So Mordekaiser. Mord is getting a few decent buffs this patch actually, which should help him out in a solo or a duo lane. Hopefully, I think it's more likely in a solo lane. I really hate playing against him in a duo lane as an AD carry. So hopefully he's going to be kind of a mid-top laner now. His shield lasts a bit longer before it decays, which is nice. His W, the aura thing, can now be cast on minions, and his ultimate has an AD scaling rather than just granting bonus flat AD. Really, they're trying to make him like this more of an AD bruiser or hybrid, I guess, rather than just AP. And with that W change, he might actually be pretty good top now. He could still be good bot lane, he could still be good mid lane. He's actually pretty good in the jungle too, but I don't think you're going to build him flat AP anymore. You're probably going to at least get a mix. So Riven. Actually, Riven is getting a buff this patch, and holy crap, that's so weird to say. Normally she's just getting nerfed and nerfed. Riven's passive is one of the biggest reasons she is so strong in lane and can win kind of most matchups actually, or at least go even. That particular thing is getting a buff this patch, with its AD ratio going up slightly at the start of the game. It's not actually a huge change, but she did get buffed the patch before as well, and both together will probably mean we're going to see a lot more of her again. It's not just her change either that's helping her, like the mastery changes that are coming in this patch, we'll get to that a bit later, that's going to help her, and also the new changes to the last whisper will help her deal with tanks in lane 2. So Trundle. Poor Trundle, actually, this guy is getting slapped with a nerf bat really hard. His Q, his bite thing, is no longer going to work on towers. His E, his pillar costs more, but the biggest change is to his ultimate. The cooldown is up a ton at lower ranks, and it even costs more mana too. It's just going to hurt his lane phase so much. Like, you can't really fight without your ultimate in lane, so it gives your opponent a big window to punish you. The other thing as well is, even if you do batter Trundle in lane, then he just sits top and he pushes over and over again. He's really good at split pushing because of his W, the attack speed bonus, and the Q reset on towers, but that's not going to work anymore. Anyway, those are the champion changes this patch, but now we're going to move on to the items. First one is a new item. It's a new enchantment for the jungle, Runic Echoes. I don't think this is actually going to change too much for AP junglers actually, but basically it's like a cheap Luden's Echo for the jungle. It does less damage, but it's cheaper, actually a lot cheaper, and it grants a ton of mana and bonus damage in the jungle, like on large jungle monsters. It's really aimed at making your clear like super efficient, I guess. Then you get more gold from how quickly you clear, and you accelerate your build into proper items quicker. It's a nice touch, but AP junglers just aren't really top tier. Like, they will get bullied by these AD junglers like Lee Sin and Shaco and even Xin Zhao maybe as well, so they're always going to struggle a little bit in the jungle. So trinkets are being changed a little bit. I'm just going to go by the colors because that makes it easier. So the green cooldown is down, the blue cooldown is up. That's basically it. There isn't really too much to say about this, except you might not want to switch to a blue trinket as early into the game anymore. It's actually good because you can ward more now late game, which gives you more objective control, but blue trinkets were just super good at scouting and preventing the enemy jungler from doing much. Now, no offense, okay, but I actually kind of think that this will be a good thing for lower elo where people didn't use that blue trinket properly anyway, so it's actually kind of a buff, I guess, in a way. So one of the only item nerfs this patch is actually to Frost Queen's Claim, and it's not really too much of a surprise, I guess. So less mana regen, and the ghosts now slow less if they don't travel as far. For supports, this isn't going to mean very much, and actually really as a mid laner it wouldn't mean too much either. It'll make the trade-off getting this a little bit harsher, but it still gives you decent gold, damage, and kind of a defense mechanism with the ghost as well. If you get ganked, you can activate it, and at least gives you a bit of a chance to get away. I would still get this on poke champions honestly, but probably rush and Morello now for more bursty champions, and for supports like AP supports I would definitely still get this. So Last Whisper, both versions of the upgrade for Last Whisper are getting their bonus penetration increased by 5%. This is actually a pretty big deal for dealing with tanks and gives AD carries and AD mids a much easier time of it. Remember, this is bonus armor too, so if they aren't building armor from items or if they aren't getting any, they've just got their basic, then this isn't going to do anything. The other change mostly aimed at AD carries I guess is a static shiv is getting a little bit of a buff, so the bonus damage to minions is getting increased, doing help with your wave clear. In my opinion, rapid fire cannon is still going to be better on most AD carries at the moment just because it does more damage. Shiv is good at clearing waves, sure, but your job as an AD carry is to kill people, kill champions, and rapid fire cannon does that better and it lets you take towers easier. Now moving on to masteries, I'm going to give you a quick summary, okay, because I want to do my own just in-depth video on masteries. Warlord's Bloodlust, Forever Battle, Deathfire Touch, Storm Raider's Surge are all getting better this patch and actually worth taking. To sum it up properly, if you rely on auto attacks and crit, then Warlord's Bloodlust is great. If you build more than 2 attack speed items, then Further Battle is great, think like a Vayne or Callista here by the way. If you have long range poke, then Deathfire Touch is going to be pretty good too, but Thunderlords is still really strong. It hasn't been nerfed this patch, so I'd only swap it out for like a Brand or Malzahar maybe, who really use the extra damage over time. The only other mastery change worth noting is the Precision mastery in the Cunning tree. The arm pen on that is now down. This is another reason not to take Thunderlords on AD carries unless you're really some kind of burst ability based champion, maybe like Corki for example. This would still be pretty good on him. It'll hit people like Zed and Talon harder actually, but I think most AD carries now will be going down the Frosty tree instead. Anyway, that's patch 6.1 in a nutshell with everything you need to know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll catch you in my next video.
Wrong.